Hey, Eagle Run 23 here. We have ourselves an emergency video. Here is a letter from the United States Senate. It is written by Mr. Blumenthal, a real great kind of guy. We're going to talk about that here a little bit more, but it is addressed to the CEO of YouTube, Miss Susan Wojcicki. One of the things I want to point out to you from the get-go is they actually supply, and I'm going to link this PDF in the description or in the comment here. They actually list the videos, which I think is hilarious. So if you didn't know how to build a ghost gun, they've actually included a list from the Senate. So I guess you could say these are Senate approved instructional videos, which there's a couple names on here we know. I've seen some Tactical Toolbox. That guy does a good job. Pew Pew Tactical. Seen some of his stuff. But our boy P80 Ralph is on there 3 times. Congratulations, Mr. P80 Ralph. You've made the top 18 list. 15, 16, 17, 18. You got the top. You made the top 19 list. Congratulations, good sir. Okay, so a couple things here. Now my printer is terrible. Look at this. So we're going to do our best here to read through this. Basically, they're starting out here by saying that these videos are clearly a violation of YouTube's guideline, but yet they're still available on YouTube. And they talk about ghost guns are unserialized firearms that anyone can get their hands on without a background check. There's also talking about 3D printer, do-it-yourself gun kits. But here's the kicker right here. As a result, ghost guns have become the weapon of choice for gun traffickers, convicted felons, domestic violent extremists, foreign terrorists. Federal, state, and local law enforcement have sounded the alarm that untraceable firearms present a distinct and deadly threat. Man, okay, first of all, I've Googled this. I Googled it a couple weeks ago. I did a quick check while this thing was printing out to see if anything had changed. There are 0 statistics to back up any of these claims. Absolutely 0 statistics. Ghost guns are only mentioned a handful of times that they're even involved in a crime. There just is no evidence to support this. Unless they have something that is not out in the public, this is not true. It's just simply not true. Fact check, false. Now, one of the things about building a gun that I've mentioned several times on my channel, as a hobbyist and as a tinkerer and as a DIY guy, this is just another way for me to combine my love of building and tinkering and combine that with my love of firearms. And that is why I have chosen to build a gun or two. I just don't see... Now, they actually make a mention in here as well that... let's see. They talk about how many views that we're getting on YouTube, which is cool for the industry. A researcher took less than 10 minutes to find these videos. And then somewhere they also say about how it only costs like $100 in parts. I don't remember where I read that, but you can read through this. The PDF is below here. But it talks about that with only $100 in parts, just here on camera, there's more than $100 in parts that it takes to build these. Now, I've always made the joke that I just imagine some criminal in the alley with his pocket knife trying to whittle out a P80 real quick so he can go commit a crime. These are custom firearms. I choose, and most of us do, to use premium components because since I'm doing the work myself, I can afford to spend the extra money on a nicer trigger, a nicer barrel, Cerakoted slide. There's the optics that we're putting on these things with the cutouts are $300 or $400. It's kind of silly that this is some sort of like low cost alternative. This is not an off-brand gun. These are entirely custom firearms, and I'm sure there's some crappy ones out there, but for the most part, the guys that are listed here in this video, in the top list here. These guys are making great high quality guns that are super cool and super custom, and they're just making it on their own instead of buying it. Now, I'll also tell you that I've been in the firearms, community for 20 years. I've been doing YouTube videos about firearms for 5 or 6 years now. I have never one time come across a video or talked to a person or anyone at a gun range. Never one time have I talked to someone who has a gun that doesn't have a serial number on it, that is a criminal, and that doesn't have other firearms that are, the fact that you have another firearm or a CHL or, these all mean that like you're following the laws and you're not doing something illegal. Gun owners don't do illegal things. There's a handful of criminals that have completely tainted this whole thing. And it's not about the guys out here building P80s. It's just not. Or printing. So, in closing, we congratulated some of our fellow YouTubers here for making the list. Unfortunately, Eagle Run 2.3 did not make the list. I've actually deleted several of my videos that were on there. I feel like they were kind of hurting my channel. I don't know. You can call me what you want, but I'm here supporting Second Amendment rights, and I'm going to bring some attention to these issues. Now, let's talk about who signed this. Richard Blumenthal, well-known anti-Second Amendment guy. No surprise there. His name is listed first. I believe he's credited for writing the letter. And then, look, Robert Menendez. Now, if you don't know anything about 3D printed stuff, the 3D print guys are so hilarious. So the 3D printed magazine that you can print is actually called the Menendez magazine, and I think that's hilarious that they're trolling that guy. I don't know Christopher Murphy or Edward Markey. I don't know either one of those guys, but I do know Cory Booker. Cory Booker, all three of these guys I know are hacks, political hacks. Booker is maybe the biggest hack. This guy is really difficult to understand where he's coming from. But it doesn't surprise me that, 3 out of 5 of these guys are just Second Amendment hacks. So make sure you're getting the word out on this. Ultimately, YouTube is a private company. They can do whatever they want. I fully support their decision to allow or disallow firearms content. There's nothing that we can do about that. There are some alternatives that are popping up. I have tried a couple of other video platforms. There's just no one on those channels watching. YouTube is still the king. So for now, my channel is still on YouTube. I'll gladly go somewhere else if something else presents itself, but right now, YouTube is just the best spot to be in, unfortunately. But anyway, just want to make sure you guys were aware of what was going on here. This happened yesterday, February 14, and I just was made aware of it this morning and wanted to make sure you were aware of it as well. Eagle Run 2.3, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.